Uh,
There we
you know,
go. We're
Michael.
up. We're up and at 'em. Yes, Vinny.
Yes, that's Michael Knight, and I just started, and I'm New York Vinnie, and together we're
Together we're a mess. Together we're
yeah
something
together.
fabulous that you can take home and show your children.
Yes, yeah, instruct your children not to get into radio because this is what 70 years old in radio looks like.
This is the comeuppance.
This is this is what it looks like, kids. This is what they didn't show you at the Columbia School of Broadcasting
That's why
or
there
the
were no
Ron
pictures on the
Bailey
radio.
broadcast experience. Anyway, he's Michael Knight. I'm New York Vinny with Mikey and Vinny every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Usually, I had internet problems on Monday, so we couldn't get the show on the air.
On
I
the
guess
Patutor.
on the tutor. So we're here, and we're going to do we're going to speak two words for we're going to speak double words today. So that's how we're going to make up for it. So you won't have missed anything if you listen to the show today.
Same amount of content, but twice the amount of words.
Exactly, which is something that we're usually pretty good at. I've had more than one person tell me in my career, you'd be pretty good if you weren't so wordy. But I mean, I don't know.
That's the type of advice you can just forget about.
Yeah, I had a program director say one time come into me and say, because I used to like. I mean, I didn't do a long weather report, but I used to like just grab the weather and give a couple of temperatures in the around because I figured if people were listening and they were going out or something like that, they wanted to know how cold it was outside. I mean, they could give a crap less about the barometer or the wind coming or this or that or anything like that, but they want to know how cold it is outside so they know what kind of coat to put on, or something like that, or no coat or whatever. And he said to me, "No, the way you're supposed to do the weather report is like this. If you're going to go from the bar to the car, you're going to get wet." I said, "Really?"
That's your weather report.
That's it, huh?
That's the way you want the weather to sound on Cairo radio.
No, well, this wasn't Cairo. To be fair, it was another CBS station that I worked at. I won't mention any names. Um, but from the bar to the car, if you're going from the bar to the car, you're going to get wet. Now, I don't know about you, but I know a couple of friends that are with like Mothers Against Drunk Driving and things like that.
You didn't need to hear that.
They're going to jump on that pretty quick. Oh man!
That's
So
the type of assumption that program directors make in sports radio, thinking that they're dealing with an all male, half high audience.
right, right, exactly. That's why you hear so many. How many uh what was it, ED and strip club commercials and every lowest common denominator of advertising did you
Don't
hear on
forget,
sports
don't forget
radio.
FanDuel. You wouldn't want to miss FanDuel in that mix.
Luckily, we didn't have those in our day on real radio. But again, I say that this, I just look at how many people listen to us versus how many people listened, and for a no advertising, no, just kind of flipping the switch at 10 o'clock or so every morning or every other morning or something like that. I mean, we get a pretty good number of listeners. We get more than two, more than three. I've worked at radio stations where you've given the phone number out for a phone call and nobody's called. Not
That's
even to not even to break your balls. Just nobody.
that happens. That does happen.
Yeah, every once in a while, but especially working an overnight shift. That's where you're sitting there just trying to figure out, well, what am I going to talk about next? I've talked out everything that we could talk about. Luckily, we live in an era where there's always something to talk about. I'll get to slapdick. We'll get to slapdick in a second, but I just want to acknowledge and praise the Seattle Mariners
For
for
locking up some players.
locking up Josh Naylor. Um, that guy brought it last year when they got him from Arizona. He brought it. He didn't come here to dick around, man. He came here to play ball. And
Playoff ball where you got to hit.
yeah, well, but even when he first got here, he played ball. I mean, there was a whole, I think, there was a whole different attitude on this club. Not to say there wasn't good players, not to say there wasn't gamers, but the Mariners traditionally have been a team that has been kind of like the city, kind of quiet, kind of reserved, kind of, I think the
Polite.
last guy we had here with that kind of attitude was Lou Piniella. There's a I don't know, you want to call it a will to win, you want to call it a flashiness, you want to call it some braggadocio, but this guy brought something to the team that really you can't buy. And if he hits like he did in the playoffs, which I don't think I mean, over 162, he's going to have his slumps and his ups and his downs. But if they didn't lock him up, somebody else was coming after him. I mean, based on his performance last year, there were general managers all over the league looking at him and saying, this is the guy we want.
This is the type of energy you want from your first baseman. This is what he does to lead the team, to contribute to the offense, to drive in runs, to be a danger, to be a hot spot in the lineup.
He's a feared hitter. He's a feared hitter. I mean,
trouble.
When you got to think about how you're going to work him when especially he's in there with runners on base or he's on base.
You take that little card out of your back pocket and look at it one more time before you throw him a fastball.
Yeah. And if you're smart, you probably don't even throw him a fastball. You hit him with all breaking stuff and hope that he's, you're thinking one way and he's thinking the other. But so I said it last year when I saw this guy in the, just show up. All he had to do was show up. And I just looked at him and then I saw him on the field and I said, and hitting. I said, this guy is bringing it. Now, again, we got to see what happens because the curse of the Mariners is they sign somebody who's been successful 2 or 3 other places, and they hit the floor when they get here. I don't know what happens to them. But
we hope that Naylor's past that because he showed us when he arrived that he brought
exactly
his history with him.
Exactly, and he's comfortable. He's here and he's comfortable. He likes the clubhouse dog. So that's a good sign right there. I mean, matter of fact, he said in his press conference that one of the reasons he signed here is because they have a clubhouse dog.
Who takes care of that dog?
I'm going to say that the clubbies. I'm going to say that that's an assignment that falls to the clubbies.
What's the doggy's name?
Russell, I think.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I mean, well, there's another sad story. Let's see. Where? What the hell is the dog's name?
Well, you know the team pretty well. What does Russell the dog, if that's his name, do during the game?
I don't know. I guess he stays in the clubhouse. I mean, I really wasn't aware that. To be honest with you, I didn't really know that they had a dog. So shame on me. Sometimes you just. Sometimes you don't know things. Again, Michael, I'm not in the clubhouse every day like I used to be. So it's there's things I don't know. I don't I mean, most of the information I get about the club, I get off the internet and stuff. And so I don't, I don't know that, that he had. I mean, I never heard the dog mentioned on the broadcast. Now maybe they mentioned anyway.
Do you know what kind of dog it is?
Name is Russell. We'll call.
We lost your audio, Vinny.
I know they have a dog.
There you go. Now you're
because
back.
he mentioned the dog in the press conference yesterday. He said that, you know,
Cool.
when they had he says it was the dog that I don't know if the dog even attended the press conference. So
dogs have a busy schedule. They have to do what they have to do every day.
Yeah.
I wonder what breed. Do you know what kind of dog it is?
I have no idea what any kind of dog is. I really don't know breeds of dogs except for Chihuahuas. I know what a Chihuahua is. Other than that, I think I know what a terrier is.
I think you know what a black lab is,
if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. I don't know dogs. I don't know trees. I don't know plants. You know, I know, you know, my kid could tell you, you know, different types of dogs, different types of, I just have no idea what the tree, except for redwoods. I know what a redwood is. Other than that, I don't know that I know what I could tell you what kind of trees are outside here. You know, that's I don't know. I'm not well versed in trees.
Well, the dog's name is Tucker.
Tucker. Okay, I know it was. I know he had a name.
And he's a Labrador Retriever mix, adopted by the Mariners clubhouse from Oaken Dogs, and he hangs out. And this is the Mariners pup, Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker. Okay. Well, you know, I'm wondering now, did they name him after Tucker Carlson, which would probably bug the living crap out of him? Well, I don't know. You know, ball players are generally like kind of Republican guys. You know, like conservative Republican guys, for the most part. It's you know, I mean, most of the ex-ball players I know are very, you know, are Republicans, and most of them, a lot of them are Trump supporters. A lot of them.
I see that Tucker hangs out with the kids down by the wall before the game, where they would normally be standing there to get an autograph or get their jersey signed. Tucker hangs on the players' side and entertains the Mariner fans that are younger and at the ball game, doing the ritual before the game. Beautifully done. He's a yellow lab and retriever mix.
Well, good. I'll say hello to Tucker the next time I go to a game.
He's got a big smile for a dog.
Well, do you ever see? I mean, when have you ever seen a dog frown?
But that's a good job if you're a dog, team dog.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're getting taken care of by a bunch of millionaires, that's not a bad deal. But you know, where does Tucker go down? I mean, is Tucker, you know, where does Tucker sleep? Does he go home with somebody at night, or does he have to sleep in the clubhouse all alone? Or does somebody sleep in the clubhouse with Tucker?
That's what I would do. But that way, you take care of him.
You know,
and does he get to go to spring training?
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll be down in spring training. I'd love to see the first time he takes a dump on the field.
Has to be. You got to do it.
Let's see who's coming out with a shovel for that one.
He'll explain the whole thing.
That's the new clubby. That's the.
Well, I've cleaned up.
Although if you got
my share of dog poop.
Yeah, if you got, you know, 27 millionaires in a clubhouse, I would think that you could probably hire some kid to follow Tucker around and clean up, you know, a human pooper scooper.
It has to be done. That's what we do.
You can't leave it out there. It'll look like Shea Stadiums. Well, good. I'm glad they got a dog. I'm glad they love the dog.
I'm glad they got a first baseman.
Now they have putting some components of a good team together. You have to, you know, this is there's still holes to fill. There's still work to do, but I like the fact that they got the whole thing started.
They didn't.
I like the fact
that they didn't blow the opportunity to make this a deal.
Right. They didn't make the same mistake that they made a couple of years ago with a couple of other players that they let go. So and those players went on to be pretty successful for their teams.
And this was a
So
week in Seattle sports where the Seahawks, poised to do great things, did less than great things.
well, they did
They,
what the dog does generally on the field. On the field,
they did leave several piles behind them.
yeah, yeah. It was not a game that you'd want to put in any highlight film. It was not a game that you'd even want to tell anybody about. It was really a. Now I'm gonna give the Rams a lot of credit. They're a good team, and I think that sometimes you can underestimate them.
And they're playing at their best right now.
They're clicking on all cylinders, and they don't allow you much, short or long.
You can't make any mistakes in coverage or intent. And when you get the ball, you can't turn it over 4 times.
Yeah, it was.
And you gotta have more of an offense than the Seahawks did. But Darnold has not had that kind of season. He's had a very successful, productive offensive season, and
Right. And
it
I'm going
wasn't
to
like him.
and I'm going to say that what, he had a crap game. Everybody has one. He did it in a game that unfortunately was a game that they really needed to have.
Yeah.
But they still get another crack at the Rams later. They
In Seattle.
Yeah, in Seattle at home, and they still got a full schedule to play out among many teams that they're going to beat the crap out of. So what do? You take it, you put it behind you, you try to fix what you can fix, or you just realize that, hey, what do we do to change what happened the next time we see these guys? Because you've got to look at them now, so you know what they're doing.
You've seen Puka Nakua.
Yeah, you've seen them, and the way their coverages are just phenomenal. They've got it all. I mean, they got speed, they've got girth, they've got speed guys that have girth, they've got running backs, they've got cornerbacks, they've got every kind of back, they got nickel backs, they got everything. It's just a really good football team. But we're not a bad football team.
No, not like that. Was not an accurate showing on Monday night.
Yeah, I don't think that what you saw on Sunday was real. And even with all of that, it's not that the Seahawks got blown out. Any one of those interceptions don't happen, and that's the Seahawks game. But if it's a big word, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle.
With all the things that went wrong in that game, they could have won it with a kick.
Yeah,
but did not.
I mean, it was a confluence of everything that could. It was the three rivers of tragedy in that game. Everything that could happen: the interceptions, the missed field goal, and
the Mahanganila.
Yeah, and the blown the blown coverages. The other, the Rams players running up the field, and there's no Seahawk within 5 yards of them. I mean, I saw more open guys in that game in the first half. Wasn't so bad in the second half. He kind of pulled, but there was a lot of open Rams in that first half, man. When he was looking to pass the ball downfield, he seemed to find somebody at will.
It's easier to find somebody that on the Epstein list than it was to play defense against the Rams.
Yes. The Epstein list. It's boy, is it out yet?
No. Where the hell is the Epstein list, and who the hell is on it? Is this going to be the biggest non-story of our lives? The Epstein list is finally out, and there's nobody on it.
That would be that would be funny. That would be hilarious. I don't think
say there was no
Epstein.
Well, the Republicans involved in releasing it or covering it up seem to be uncertain about who's on the list. What is the list? It's a list of what? It's a list of who? Who put the list together? Where did this list come from? Has anybody confirmed the list? Who's checking the list? We know none of these things.
Well, nobody seems to want to. I mean, listen, you and I both have been around long enough to know that there's going to be names from all over the place on that list. Whenever sex is involved in something and people with money, there are going to be names from all over the place because
The only
it's
one we know is Summers, and he said, I'm going to be a private person from now on. I'm
yeah,
out of the game."
yeah. So there's going to be people all over the place.
And Prince Andrew, of course, we don't know if he's on the list.
Who
but
says he's going to be out of the game? Who was told to get out of the game?
Get out of the game and stay out of the game.
Yeah, leave your ceremonial cloaks and stuff in the closet and get out of here.
You could sell those on eBay.
And it's not going to shock anybody if Trump is on the list. It's and you know that even if he's the first name on the list, he's not going to resign. He's not going to, I mean, his ego won't let him do that.
Well, we don't know what he's going to do because as of yesterday, we didn't think he was going to allow it to be released. He would use his influence to prevent anyone from voting on the idea that it was time for all the elements, the 300,000 pages of documents, to be released and studied by the media, by the legal teams that will be
by the public. It has nothing to do. They want a couple of nights off from TV, so they'll grab the Epstein files and go through them until they see a name that they know.
If there are 300,000 pages, it seems unlikely that there's nothing on there. If they say, we looked at all 300,000 pages, we're not going to show you, but trust us, we did. We looked at it. And I can't believe it either, but there's nothing there. There's nobody on those lists. No names are mentioned. There's shopping lists, there's diaries, there's things to do. There's a list of tools that we need to make repairs around the White House, things that we're going to do when the East Wing is torn down, but no official list that would be incriminating. I just wanted everyone to know that. That's why we saved 300,000 pages of them.
Yeah, people think that, it's just Epstein, people who went to Epstein's Island and had sex with underage girls, you go down the list. It's not going to work like that.
You could go there and have a tuning mill.
Anybody. But the major newspapers, what's left of them, will look at it and boil it down, except maybe the New York Post, not the New York Post, the Washington Post, because who knows how many times Bezos is on the list. Did you see who was at the dinner last night? Did you catch who had a seat at the dinner last night?
If Jurgerman, is he there?
No, Leon.
They did bring him out of the closet.
Leon was at the dinner. I was kind of surprised.
I'm surprised he got invited, and I'm surprised he accepted the invitation.
Yeah, I don't know if they talked or they didn't talk, but I thought it was interesting that that Leon got a
not even stink eye from across the room.
Nobody even spit in his food.
Don't be so sure about that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think if you're a rich guy like that, you probably got to get used to the taste of spit, because
your own food.
There's a line in every kitchen of people who just go, as the thing's going through the, they go to that sandwich shop in Vegas, where the guys in casino, they just spit in the sandwiches and give them to the cops.
It's a famous sandwich shop, but it's not the best.
No, unless you like the taste of spit, in which case it's right up your alley. It's a place you can go and
can't say that I'm that attached to it.
Know the taste of saliva intimately. Yeah. So I don't know if this signals, if this means anything, or means nothing at all. That he was at the dinner. Like I said, I don't know that they had met. I don't know if they had a moment. I don't know if Musk maybe had to apologize before he he was invited, which I think is probably the most likely scenario, is he called up and kissed the king's ring.
Because they told him, we got the Saudi guy in here who chops people up. So before you say anything negative, think about that. Think about the body chop. Think
No, but
about
people are making too much about that, Michael. I mean, come on. He's a, it happened. It's a thing. It happened.
apparently, according to Donald Trump, it happens.
Yeah,
Things
no, it
happen.
happens, Michael. I mean, come on. I mean that's how many. You know that. I mean, how many times do you think he has said to the Saudi king, "Gee, I wish I had the balls to do that,"
Hunter Biden,
even as a joke? I'm just saying, he probably.
because he is a jokester guy. He jokes a lot.
I just, there's such. It was just an assemblage of bad people. I don't even know where they had the dinner. Was it in the tent outside or wherever they had the dinner? It was an assemblage of really. I mean, I just you look down some of the names that were there, and
People
I don't
who
know.
can be bought, whose influence can be purchased on the open
Yeah,
market.
you just know that the reason they're there is because they laid an envelope with cash on somebody. That's the room you want to see, the room where they're counting the cash in the envelopes.
And when
But
the envelope is cash, you always assume that it's been shorted somehow. You just don't know how much.
yeah, and well, there's what they call a transport fee.
Handling.
The guy who's transporting the envelope always knows how to take out a couple of grand or a couple of hundred or whatever he's proportionate to what. They'll by the time they count this money, it'll have passed through 100 hands. So who cares? I'll take a quarter inch off the top.
And handling is just something that you got to pay for. Shipping and handling.
Shipping and handling is expensive, but so yeah, it'll be I mean,
especially when you mail everything from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Yeah, well, a lovely place. Have you ever been there?
I have not.
You got to go to the Kellogg Museum sometime.
And what do they have there? Let me guess. They have Kellogg's.
Well, they have the factories at Kellogg's, but they have a room, a room full of all of the batty ideas of the Kellogg brothers, and how cornflakes made you pure.
The Kellogg brothers weren't anything like the Chrysler brothers, were they? Were they as entrepreneurs?
They had a different idea on things. They had their way of living had a bit of a different tinge to it. They were into they were into purity and they were into whole grains. Yeah.
Give me a whole grain and let me toast it, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, they're into. It's interesting. The movie didn't get much action, but you remember that Seinfeld movie about cereal that he did? I don't know, a year or so, 2 years ago.
Vaguely, yeah. I didn't see it.
Well, yeah. So does the American public. It won't be next to Godfather's as an American classic, but
What's
it
Jerry's
was
favorite
interesting
cereal?
in that it was an inside look, kind of an inside look at the whole cereal industry, and Pop-Tarts and things, how these things get invented and copied and so on and so forth. So, but these cats that ran Kellogg's had a very interesting idea about what you eat and how you live your life, and what the effects of what you eat does to you sexually and does to you
Emotionally.
morally, emotionally. And they had a lot of people who would go to their sanitarium and
Get clean.
And
get breakfast.
Get breakfast. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you eat breakfast 3 times a day, but it seemed that, I forget what the whole program was. I think it was no meat, no this, no that. And they really,
I don't know if I could take it if there's no that.
I,
I can put up with no this, but I got to have that.
yeah, no this or no that. But they evidently had a full house. They had a waiting list to get into the joint. So it must have had some kind of value to it.
3 meals a day, all breakfast.
Well, it looked to me in reading about it like it was a cult. But obviously people don't go in for that kind of stuff anymore. The
No, not
cults.
Americans. Americans can't be led into that sort of dead end of
No,
life.
no. We can't be led into a cult anymore.
No.
We're better than that.
We're past that. We're bigger
We're
than that.
past. Oh man. And then of course you had the beautiful press conference with the beautiful
The
cut him up
prince.
kid
Yeah. He
from Saudi Arabia, where it's now you have the opportunity to get called names by the president of the United States if you ask a question.
will call you Piggy. Quiet,
Piggy.
Piggy.
Yeah. Or
You're a horrible person and
yeah,
a
horrible
reporter.
And I mean, he couldn't put 2 words together to write an article. Trump couldn't. Trump couldn't put 2 words together to write a letter.
How dare you ask a question of our guest?
How dare you guest cut up a reporter? Or anybody for that matter. Never mind a reporter, anybody.
People say that he was unpopular. People say they didn't like him. That's a Trump thing, that people say these things.
Yeah, that
people are saying.
Thank you, Michael, because you just hit on something that is the scourge of our lifetime today. And we used to hear it pretty much from talk show hosts all the time.
They say
it was a famous trope of talk show hosts to have a topic and say, people say, or when they were interviewing somebody and they thought something and they didn't have the balls to say to somebody, I think that you are this, or I think you are that.
Right.
That they would always lean on, well, people say.
People
and
are
it's
saying,
bullshit. It's just such a bunch of bullshit. People say. Well, you know
invention.
what? Who are the people?
And what did they say?
And they can never answer that question. He's the president of the United States. If he is going to say these things, he better damn well have facts, and he doesn't. And people don't understand that.
Well, the level of incompetency is being shown this morning in the trial with the FBI director. Apparently, they were unable to follow simple rules of procedure. They couldn't get the individuals of the I can't think of the name of the group that sends the indictment to the judge.
The grand jury?
Thank you. They didn't get the grand jury to even sign the paperwork properly. They didn't send it back to them to be reviewed as is the law. They couldn't follow the first year law student directives for running a grand jury and following it legally to the end before giving it to the judge. They were unable to do any of that. Unable, Vinnie, to bring charges in the way that they are legally required to do so by law. They couldn't get the signatures right. They couldn't get the referral right. They didn't get the paperwork right. They didn't do anything correct. And these are people who should be working at the top of their game for the most important clients in the nation. And instead of delivering the law the way it's supposed to be done, they delivered a dog's dinner of mistakes and errors and miscues. And it's just fascinating that this is the way that they proceed in all of their works, whether they're talking with Venezuelan cigarette boats, Khashoggi cutting people up in his embassy in Cairo, proceeding to bring serious charges against the director of the FBI, whenever they turn their hand to a task, they are unable to do it correctly because of the incompetent level of the jerks that work for Trump, the lowest of the low, the uninitiated, the uneducated, the uninspiring. They, one after the other, show the worst in human nature and the least in our ability to achieve great things when working for the government. It's fascinating, but one is as uninspiring as the next. And there are 20 of these guys every day that you see in every department, in every element of Trump's government. They're represented by just the least amongst us. Fascinating that they can come up with
He's
these.
consistent, if nothing else.
True.
I mean, yeah, you just look at the people
results.
that he has on the job, and they just look like incompetence. That they look like that they just don't know what they're doing.
They don't.
You know, I mean, and if you take the gun out of their hands, if you take the force of fear, or the fear of force, you can actually use that both ways. You don't have anything.
Then you just got a little jerk named Cash Patel who tries but cannot.
What's the plan for illegal aliens? Oh, we'll go to Home Depot and just throw people in a van
in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, just ride around. Go to schools that have a high population of Spanish kids, and wait for their parents to come and pick them up from school.
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll get them when they come to get the kids.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the way things are done. Without regard to law, without regard. Now, is it having an effect on people? Is it having an effect that it's making our country a better place to live?
Hardly.
Do you notice a difference? I mean, the crime that's going down was going down beforehand. It's not that Trump got into office and he was making things go down.
By dealing with the worst. You know who's the worst? There they are, riding around in ice trucks. That's the worst. The mass secret police, they're the worst.
Yeah, I mean, just how do people, how do you as an ICE agent go to work each day and say to yourself, this is my job, I love it. This is my job, to lock innocent people up.
I got a $10,000 bonus to sign with Homeland Security.
It's really hard to fathom. It's really hard to fathom that these people aren't going to get their I don't know. You have a job like that, and I guess you follow orders, and I guess you do what you're told. But it seems like there's an overzealousness in doing what they're told. It's like there've been a bunch of angry white guys let loose on a group of people so that they can get even with them for something.
Street bullies.
That's what it seems like. And listen, I don't mind the idea that you have strict requirements to get into the country. I don't mind the idea that you fortify the borders so that people can't just come running into the country. I think that's something that you needed to do. But you needed to have a plan. You needed to have a plan that says, okay, we're going to help these people, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And there was no this, no that. You said you like that instead of this. Well, there was no that. There was no this. There was nothing. The only thing that they did is they said, we're gonna get a bunch of fat guys, squeeze them into bulletproof vests, and send them out to round up people with vowels at the end of their names.
We'll rent a bunch of vans and just start hauling people away.
And it is somewhat amazing to me that they are let get away with this. But really, who can stop them?
They're a private security force coming to your town, paid for, top dollar. It's costing a fortune to do it. Millions being spent on dealing with people who are not criminals, creating a criminal class, creating fear and loathing,
Well,
making it hard to rely on your workforce.
it's pretty bad when you turn the world against you. It's even worse when you turn your own people against you, as this administration has. It's and I can't. I'm not going to get into what happened in the past, but it didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be like this. It. I mean, I hate to go back and just point a finger at people, but first of all, we elected him. But second of all, um, I think the Democrats created such a quagmire with and pretty much it defeated Joe Biden because he decided that he liked the office of president too much. Um, and he didn't want to leave when it really was time for him to go, and he had done his job. He was going to be there for
all the people who worked on his behalf failed him in that regard. They failed us. They failed the
failed
party.
us. Yeah, I mean, how are they any better than the Trump people? Except that they don't have that feeling of. I'll tell you one way I can answer my own question. They don't have that feeling of hate in their hearts.
They didn't tear down the East Wing.
That the Trump people seem to have.
They didn't welcome Khashoggi to the White House like a conquering hero.
Yeah, they don't seem to have that.
Khashoggi has to pay. He has to pay as he goes.
Khashoggi is the guy that got killed.
That's right.
The prince is the guy that they say ordered
Prince Ferdinand.
Yeah, MDS there, MBS, I guess it is.
Mohammed bin
Salmon. I heard somebody call him Mohammed bin Salmon last night. I was hoping they served fish at the.
Well, I call him Khashoggi.
Yeah. Well, yeah, which is I'm sure Mrs. Khashoggi was like that. Matter of fact, I heard an interview with her the other day. And just how she's dealing with, having her husband sent home in several baggies. Not an easy thing.
What did they do? What did they do with the pieces? I don't recall that story.
I don't know. Maybe they called Joe Pesci. So what do we do with this?
Got a hole in the desert for you.
Well, they called David Chase and said, "Well, bring him over to Satriali's, and we'll take care of it for you. Drop him off at night.
We're having a lunch special."
Yeah, drop him off at night. So anyway, that's the world as it sits today. If you're a sports fan, you're a Seattle sports fan, you're happy. If you're a Trump, a slapdick lover, you're happy because he called out another reporter or two reporters, and he and he berated them. He didn't just, as any classy individual would have done. It's just, go on to the next question. The king has to teach him a lesson. And again, he brought up license renewal in his diatribe. He brought up maybe somebody should be looking at ABC's license. Well, as Jimmy Kimmel said last night, you know what happened the last time you tried that? And rightly so.
True enough, Jimmy.
So, there's also something else I just want to talk about real quick. Do you watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver?
Sometimes.
He did a really good show. It was his last show of the season. He did a really good show last week, Sunday night, on NPR and public radio and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. and where the money goes and how it was started, and it did a really nice job at showing people the reason for its existence, the reason why, and the dedicated people that work in public broadcasting. You know, you don't go into public broadcasting. You don't do that stuff because you want to make a ton of money. You do it because you have a personal mission to inform people, a personal mission to tell people the truth, a personal mission to tell the stories that commercial radio deems too, not exciting enough, not sexy enough.
Well, listen, if you listen to commercial radio, you'll find that there's nothing exciting or sexy about it. The product is underwhelming.
Right. And you'll find that when you look across the country, that many of these in big cities, these public radio stations are second or third or fourth in the ratings in that town, because it's the only place where people feel that they can get good, solid, unbiased news.
And it's not just news. Public radio here in Los Angeles is my number one station. It's the SoCal Sound, KCSN, from College of Northridge College and Saddleback College. Two stations got together, college stations on the same frequency, one in South LA, one in North San Fernando Valley. They have a progressive, aggressive music format with young jocks. They lost over $150,000 worth of yearly funding in the cuts that Trump put together, and they're fighting to stay on the air with pledge drives that put the music first and the promise and the pact between the listener and the format that they're going to continue this progressive music format. And it's something that you would love, Vinnie. You would love the content. You would love the music choices they make. And it's a damn shame the city as big as Los Angeles has to fight with a college station with a bad signal just to have that on the air and have them be in jeopardy of losing everything on a budget cut of $150,000. It's a lot of money to a little station. And it is the difference between the existence and being gone, and not just the music format being gone, but the station itself probably being turned off the air.
Yeah, or at least sold to, like KUSF was sold to somebody who turned it into a commercial station, because now you can do that. You know, it was a time when you couldn't do that, but now you can take a station that was a non-commercial license and
go for it.
Turn it into a commercial station. It's really hurt. Anyway, Oliver did a great show, and he also did a thing where he was auctioning off stuff. So if you're interested in public radio and helping them and having a little fun doing it, with some very unique Christmas presents, including a scale model of Lyndon Johnson's balls.
Well, you do want it at scale. You wouldn't want it life size.
Well, these were large. Actually, I think they were scaling the other way. These were a large size sculpture of Lyndon's nuts, because Lyndon was complaining one day to the tailor that he needed more room in the crotch.
Well, that's the type of complaint that a tailor has to listen to.
And probably loves to hear. I mean, it's got to make them rise in the pants a little lower. Got to even them out here. And anyway, it was one of the funniest tapes I'd heard ever of Lyndon talking to this tailor. I'm sure there's funnier ones around with Lyndon Johnson, because he was a pretty funny guy when it comes down to it. And it was just really interesting to hear this. But anyway, John Oliver made a show out of his nuts. And he said that they had offered him to the Lyndon Johnson Museum, but they were politely declined.
Well, I never.
So anyway, if you're interested in that stuff, Google John Oliver. Um, I think this website they set up for it is John Oliver's Junk. But there's some interesting and unique things on there that, and it's a few that aren't that expensive, so you could help public radio out. And I'd do anything I can to help public radio out. I came up in public radio, and it's just an unbelievable feeling of accomplishing things. I remember when we won Station of the Year at KUSF several years in a row. We won Station of the Year, and I won. Well, the station won, but won the contest of the year from Ben Fong Torres when I gave away my car on the air with name the 5 things wrong with the car. And it was, and to make it interesting, we loaded up with 90.3 albums, and show tickets and stuff like that. But those are the things you had to do because there was no advertising budget, nothing. Nobody got paid. But it was, I won't say nobody got paid. The board operators got paid. They were the only people that got paid at the station manager. And, but it was really, it was a great camaraderie, would you say, experience when you have camaraderie all over the place. Is that camaraderie?
It can be.
Okay. I don't want to be accused of making up a word.
No, if you're going to make one up, that's a good one. I like the sound.
Yeah, camaraderie. It was a camaraderie experience. Yeah, that is a pretty good, come to think of it. So anyway, that's out there. We got Friday coming up here in 2 days.
And you mentioned that because
it's going to be Friday in 2 days.
It'll be a freaky fractious Friday. We'll be here. We'll be here at 10. 10.
And we're come see us. Tell your friends to come see us too.
Tell them we're on the list. We're on the Epstein list.
Well, yeah. I don't think I'm going to be on it. I know you're not going to be on it. No. But I have a feeling that there's going to be people that we know personally on it.
People from broadcasting.
That we've talked to.
Yes.
People that we've had encounters with.
Has to be. It won't be Mary Lou Retton.
No, it won't be Mary Lou. Unfortunately. Well, fortunately, I guess. All right, Mikey. Let's get together on Friday.
We shall do it.
We'll do another hour of we don't know, but we care. Maybe we'll even talk about it.
That should be our T-shirt. We don't know, but we care.
Yeah, we don't know, but we care. That should be that is a good motto. We don't know, but we care. All right, man. I will see you on Friday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise.
Now tell me about the wine.
Oh, of course. We always end this show with a little peace, a little love, and a little Manischewitz.
It's quite a wine. It's meant to be drunk liberally and enjoyed. See you, Vin.
See you, Mikey. Take care. Thank you all for listening to. We'll see you on Friday morning. Bye-bye now.
Bye.